Hey there, this is Eric Barstow with Painting Business Pro, and here I'm going to be talking to you guys a little bit about the production system that we use to manage all of our production. So last video I talked about creating systems for your business and the importance of creating systems. So really quickly I just want to recap that before we get into this. So creating systems is hugely important for a business. I don't know any other way to run a business besides building and creating systems for the business for a number of reasons. But one is when you create a system, you are going to have a much easier time hiring and training other employees to take on different roles. If the system for how to run a business, like if you run your business really effectively, but you don't have it written down on paper or in files somewhere, like that someone else could learn, then it's going to be really, really hard for you to teach everything in your head to someone else. So that's one thing. The second thing is that when you create a system, then you've got something physical that you can constantly improve. So, we have this production system, and now that we have a system in place, we can constantly improve the system. Um, but most importantly, I think it makes it really, really easy to work less, make more money, and it makes it way easier to grow and scale a business when you have an elegant, simple system. So I do want to highlight, though, that it does make a difference to have an elegant, simple system. There are a lot of ways to do something. There's a lot of ways to produce jobs in the painting business. You can hire employees, you can hire subcontractors. Those are really, or you can do it yourself. All three of those are options, and even inside of those three, there's a lot of different ways to work those three different options. If you're doing it all yourself, you could do it completely by yourself or with painters and so on and so forth. So what we're really after is not just a system, but the most elegant, simple, efficient solution. So this is it. This is what we've come to. So I'm going to kind of show you exactly how we've managed production this year. So my production manager Paul managed all of our production this year using this form. And the reason I wanted to start with production is because I think production is the biggest place that painters and painting companies spend their time. It's the biggest time consumer, but it's the place that you make the least money. Ideally, you would want to spend all of your time doing sales because that's where you can make the most money per hour. So you would always, ideally, you would spend 100% of time doing sales and 0% doing marketing and production. We probably can't get to zero, but we can get pretty damn close. So let's get to it. So this is our production. This is our production form and file. So basically, what happens is when a salesperson books the job, then they make a job folder. The job folder has all the details about the job on it. The salesperson then every Monday hands off all the job folders to our production manager. So this is the production manager's job. It's really only 4 steps. There's 4 steps to managing production. So the first thing is you enter the job into the production form. So this is our production form. So when you get a new job folder, you first got to enter the job in. So put the customer's name there, and then I've taken out their name and phone number, their phone number and address. So columns B and C are their phone number and their address. This is the job size, so how much we booked the job for. This is the deposit they gave us. This is the balance they gave us, and this is the total we received. So this is what the job was booked for. This is what we actually received. So you can see we didn't collect $200 on that job because that particular job took like 2 months because of weather and other issues. It's a long story, but we gave them $200 off just for good faith. So that happens. So anyways, that's how I can keep track of my losses though and my profitability. The next column is what subcontractor is doing the job and who currently has the folder. So then the status of the job, this is where most of the management happens, is in the status and the notes. So first you enter the job in the production form. Step 2, contact the customer until they're ready to start. So customers go through these 5 phases. So first they go through the colors phase. The colors phase is where the customer is choosing their color and confirming their colors. Then once they've chosen and confirmed their colors, then they're in the HOA/other phase. So HOA stands for Homeowners Association. Some neighborhoods have an HOA where the customer or the homeowner needs to get approval from the association to get their house painted. So this is like a third party phase. So this is, we're waiting on a third party. So whether it's the HOA or it's a carpenter or a roofing company or something else, we're waiting on a third party. Once the colors are approved and all third parties are approved, the customer is ready to start. Once they're ready to start, then we do step 3. Set up start date with customer and with contractor. So let's say we're talking to Rich Archer. We say, hey, or I'm sorry, Rick Archer. So I say, hey, Rick, this is Eric with Foothills Painting. I just wanted to touch base with you. It looks like you got your HOA approval done, and I just wanted to call the schedule. So we've got an availability in our schedule next week. We could probably start Tuesday. Would that work for you? Okay, great. We'll plan on starting Tuesday. I'll let you know if anything changes, and otherwise, I'll give you a call on Monday just to confirm what time we'll be there. So then on Monday, I meet with my contractor. So you can see this is the job size. Jay is our contractor doing the job. So on Monday, I would meet with Jay, and I would say, all right, cool, man, so we're all on track. Tomorrow, you're going to be doing this job, and I would give him the job folder. Say, here's the price. The job is $2,050, so you'll get $1,025 on the job. What time can you be there tomorrow? Jay says, I can be there at 9. Okay, so I call the customer and I say, hey, Rick, so my painter's going to be there tomorrow morning to get started. His name's Jay. He'll be there by 10, so I give Jay a little bit of cushion there. So even if he's late, we're not in trouble. He'll be there by 10 tomorrow to get started, and he'll be able to get everything complete for you. And once the job is complete, he'll go ahead and get that final check taken care of. He can get the final check from you and everything. Just write that out to Foothills Painting. If you have any questions in the process, definitely give me a call. But he's been working with us for a while, and he should be able to take care of everything. So once the job gets started, it's in progress. And then once Jay finishes the job, collects the check, then step 4 is meet with the contractor to exchange checks. So Jay gives us this check from the customer, and we would give Jay his check for $1,025. That's it. So that's what you do, and you do it over and over and over. So basically how I teach people to manage production is basically every morning I wake up and I look at this form and I say, okay, so this isn't a good example because these are all finished. And this isn't a good example either because we're almost done with our jobs for the year. But October, for example, I would wake up and let's imagine all these were in different phases. I would literally just go through and say, okay, do I need to call the Stanleys today? Do I need to call him today? Do I need to call him today? Do I need to call him today? And in the morning, in about 1 to 2 hours, you can make all of your phone calls. So every morning, it's really just a matter of phone calls. Once the job is finished, we put finished in the notes section. So I want to show you the value of the notes section because that's the other valuable section to use. So here you can see, if we actually click on this, you can see how much all of the notes, all the communications with the customer is in here, all of it. So we know exactly what we've talked to this customer about. If we see this one, same thing. Look at that one. Holy crap, we've talked to them a ton. So, and kind of a funny note here is that, these jobs, like, I didn't even know this, but this job was supposed to be done like a month ago. Whoops. We're supposed to be done on September 30th. It's Halloween today. So that kind of gives you an idea of, like, how little I actually am involved in this process. Like, my production manager literally takes care of everything. And if there's ever a serious problem, like, I'll find out about it because they'll call the company line and I'll get an email. That's a whole nother system. But basically, I think it's kind of funny because, I had no idea until I looked at this today that these jobs are supposed to be done almost a month ago. So, I'll be checking in with them and I'm sure I know there's explanations for it, but it kind of points out how little involved I actually am, which I think is great. So you can see we have about $89,000 to produce in October. 50,000 of it or so is done. So we got a little bit left here, which is great. And then I think my equations are off there actually. Let's see this. So 71,000 is collected. So we've got about 18,000 left. So just to show you how much we've produced, March was 25,000. April was 50, May was 86, June was 95, July was 114,000. And what was cool about July is that I left town on June 29th for Lake Tahoe, where I spent the 4th of July with a bunch of friends. I went straight from Lake Tahoe up to Seattle, where I was on a getaway with 20 entrepreneurs from around the world for a week. I got back in town. I was home for a week, and then I went to the Caribbean to St. Martin with my girlfriend for a week. So while I was traveling around the world to all sorts of fun places, we produced $114,000 in revenue, and my profit margin this year was about 17%. So, it was a really good month. And then August, we did even more. In August, we produced $134,000 in August. And then September was a really slow month at $58,000. And then October, we're at about 90,000. We'll finish at about 90,000. And you'll see we have nothing scheduled for November. So that's our production. Kind of how we run it. What's really amazing is that Paul, who's managed our production, has not. He had a busy month in June because we went from doing 80, 90, jumping up to two of our biggest months. So he was hiring new contractors and doing a lot of crazy stuff like that. And so he was working about 30 or 40 hours a week in June. But Paul, as a production manager, started working in January, at the end of January, hiring subcontractors. He's done with work now, which is the end of October. So he's worked about 9 months this year. And besides June, he only worked about 20 hours a week. And our final production this year is going to be about $650,000. So it's just really amazing that he really, one person could have managed $1 million of production working less than full time 9 months out of the year. And Paul is 24 years old and just graduated from college. And he's going to make pretty good money this year. I think he's probably making $40,000, $50,000 or something like that. Because I just pay him a percentage. So anyways, that's about it. So that's production. Now one last thing. I'm not getting into all the details, but we do have like scripts. So I want to show you something really fast. Just so you can get an idea of what I'm talking about with systems. Because that's our overall system, but there is more systems here. So you can see we have a 4-week projection. So this is how we actually project out the schedule. So it's a pretty simple file. I'm not going to get into that now. We have our subcontractor recruiting system. So this is how we recruit and hire subcontractors. It's the 3 phases. This is how we help customers. This is the conversations we have with customers to help them with colors. And this is a quality form. This is really great. Our contractors have our customers fill this out at the end of every job. And so we have about 300 references from customers where they not only do they rate the job on a 1 to 7, 7 being the best, but they also usually write a little comment section. It's been the easiest way I've ever found to get references. We've got like 300 almost effortlessly in the last couple of years. And we have almost all 7s, so it's cool because we actually get feedback from customers to find out actually how it's going. And we get great ratings, so it's been really, really cool, and a really simple way to get those. So that's kind of all of the stuff I have to show you for now about production system. And I do want to let you know that as far as production, well, as far as all of my systems go, if you are really interested in just getting all my systems, I've actually published all of them at easypaintingbiz.com. You can buy them. It's $140 about, I think. $139.99 or something like that. So you could actually buy them, and what you would get is you get access to this Dropbox folder, which has all of my forms and templates and everything, like from a sample of a client, like a client manual, to contract, to disclaimers, to ads, contractor interview outline, contractor phone call. I mean, you can see a ton of stuff on here. And I'll be getting into all of these things, over time, in these email and these videos and stuff I'm doing. But if you just want to buy them all up, they're right there, because it's going to take me like a year or 2 to actually get through everything. And then also on all these CDs, there's about 7 hours of audio of me talking through and explaining everything. So, anyways, wanted to let you know about that because I've gotten some emails recently from people who are asking for more info. So that's where you can get it. That's production. Next couple of videos we'll be talking about marketing and sales. If you have any questions or comments, I'd love to hear from you about like what you want to hear about, what you've been getting out of these videos and that kind of stuff. I'd love to hear from you. So contact me on the website or shoot me an email, and we'll see you next time.